It's the world's longest ramp test, and the stages done by distance rather than time. Start at 200 watts, which means the test starts after 200 kilometers. Then on, every 10 kilometers, the power I have to ride at goes up by 10 watts. So when I'm at 210 watts, that 10k I have to average 210 watts or more. When I'm at 220 watts, I have to average 220 watts or more. And so on, until I am absolutely cooked, and then we see how far I've gone. And I can tell you, this test is a little bit insane. I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every minute of it. But I'm not just going to go through the test. I'm also going to share some of the science behind it. So I'm going to cover things like nutrition, the physiology of what's happening during the test, fatigue, muscle fibers, lactate, hydration. Let's get to it. Half an hour in. So I'm just doing close to an hour, just around near home. Then I'm going to ride into Hamilton, meet up with my mate Lucas, do sort of 5 hours with him or so, and then we should be close to 200 k's, ready to start the test. So I guess talk through the basics of the nutrition, just setting up for a ride like this. Yesterday, wouldn't say I did a massive carb load, but added extra snacks, a little bit extra rice at dinner, a couple of extra snacks before bed, things like that. Also a little bit of extra sodium, nothing crazy, just sprinkled a bit of extra salt on my couple of meals. Now the reason for this is just try hold a little bit of extra water, can come in useful for making sweat, can increase your blood pressure a little bit, but you obviously also don't want to go overboard with that. Now the other thing I've done is this morning, with my breakfast, just added a wee bit of fructose to it. So I've used fructose powder, you can use sort of honey, jam, agave is a bit of a bougie one if you want to go that route. And the reason for this is if you add fructose to your meals essentially, or your pre-ride meal, what you're going to do is top up your liver glycogen a little bit more. That breakfast you have before a ride, not really affecting your muscle glycogen too much, but it does affect your liver glycogen quite a bit. Yeah, so there's a couple of studies done now. You add some fructose to your breakfast, or your pre-ride meal, your time to exhaustion goes up quite a bit. We are back home, and that's because I've decided this is a dumb idea and I really can't be bothered carrying on, so I'm going to go back to bed. No, I'm just kidding. It's minus 2 degrees out there, so done 45 minutes or just over. Riding to Hamilton now to meet Lucas, so going to dump as much warm gear as I can before we sort of embark on the next 200k or so. So yeah, tough decisions. The more bulky stuff I take, the more grim it's going to be later when it does warm up, but the more I ditch now, the colder I'm going to be for the next couple of hours, so let's hope I make some good choices. I feel like I've made the wrong decision in terms of getting rid of my real heavy duty gloves. Just got these smaller ones at the moment, but I know it'll pay off later on when I'm not carrying around a whole bunch of crap in my pockets. So just over an hour in, and about to basically start actually having the first fuel of the ride. So I'll aim for 90 to 100 grams pretty much this whole ride. I mean, it could take close to 10 hours, I reckon, if it went really well. So given that, why have I not eaten for the first hour? There's two reasons. So the first one is actually just practicality, and then I just had a real big breakfast, so I'm actually quite full, just not really gonna be able to stomach it that well. And then the second is that having more exogenous carbohydrate can actually increase the amount of endogenous carbohydrate you're burning. Basically it means that if you're eating carbohydrate while riding, then you can increase the amount of glycogen, so pre-stored carbohydrates, to keep it simple, that you're going to be burning. So if you're really taking in excessive amounts of carbohydrate early, you kind of can set the scene to start actually just burning more carbohydrate from the muscles. So, but if you're taking in carbohydrate, surely you're just going to be sparing the muscle glycogen anyway. But the thing is, that's actually not true. So some research from Tim Podliger's lab, basically they've shown that by taking in more carbohydrate, so eating more exogenous carbohydrate, you're not sparing muscle glycogen. What you start with there is pretty much what you've got, with a few exceptions if you were to take it really easy for times or have a few stops or something like that. What you are doing by eating more is sparing your liver glycogen. And that's going to allow you to get more blood glucose, and then that can go into the muscle and be used as fuel, of course. And that's highly beneficial. It's going to keep your brain switched on, keep you moving. That's vitally important, as we know. But yeah, you're not going to be sparing muscle glycogen. I think a lot of people don't know that. They think, oh, if I'm a little bit light on fuel the day before or the morning, I'll just eat more on the bike and it'll rescue me. But it won't. You're not going to be topping up or sparing muscle glycogen by just eating crazy amounts of carbs on the bike.
For a friend of the channels that have broken down. Now you bring it up, I'm gonna ring it up.
Morning.
What's up?
How you going?
Oh, pretty warm, eh?
Yeah. Overheating.
Just for Tyler Burbage, it's actually like really hot today, but I'm just trying to do a bit of heat stress training before I go to Europe. So that's why I'm wearing all these clothes and stuff, but it's warm as, bro.
Yeah, Tyler, we're not jealous of your Spanish holiday at all. It's much nicer back here.
The more I see, the less I know, the more I like to let it go. Hey, oh, whoa, deep beneath the cover of another.
Ticked over a bit over 100 Ks now. Sort of halfway towards that test starting, so it'll be a good time to run through a bit more nutrition stuff. So what am I eating on a ride like this? Well, a few different options. So bars is one, but predominantly it's actually just lollies and then basically a sports drink in my bottles, which I've made myself. Now you might think, well, lollies, isn't that a bit unhealthy and just sugar and you're going to get a sugar crash and things like that? But that's what people don't understand about transport of glucose into the muscle. So if you're sitting on the couch and you eat some lollies, something like that, you're going to get a rise in blood glucose. And then that's got to be stored somewhere. So either as glycogen or adipose tissue, so fat. And to do that, you need insulin. So the pancreas releases insulin, then it can store it, so it can actually get it into the muscle or store it as fat. But when you're exercising, the transporter that brings that glucose into the muscle translocates to the outside of the muscle, and then you can easily, without insulin, get that glucose into the muscle and use it. It's not the sugar that's actually causing these issues when you're eating tons of lollies or drinking a bunch of Coke sitting on the couch. It's the insulin spike you're getting. And when you're exercising, you're not getting that. So therefore, just eating sugar, rocket fuel, and no crash. Quick nature stop, bit of a chance to get some more food out, and back to it.
What's up, guys? It's your boy. I've got the camera. I just thought I'd show you what it's like on Boz's wheel for the easy part of his 200 Ks. We're going downhill here, and as you can see there, pushing like 400 watts to hold his wheel.
Kd, sort of 30k away from starting the test, into the performance food. Got some more sugar, some more lollies, bit of caffeine, but also a sausage roll just because it's still really cold and I want to warm up a bit. Lucas has got another pie. Right, yeah, that sausage rolls really helped warm me up, so now I'm washing it down with a ice cold V.
Alright guys, we've got about 5 k's down the road from the last update, maybe, if that.
Not even 5.
Not even 5. And what's going on, Bozza?
Just I don't know if I hit a rock or something, but a little puncture there. Looked like it was going to seal, but no dice.
So now we get to watch Bozza change a flat, and I'm gonna park up in the sun. Boris's first time using a pump. The air is not going in.
I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, it's not.
10 hours later. If this video ever makes it out, can someone please come pick us up? This is Boris's first tube. It's not pumping up. I think you can probably see why. And this is the second one, and that's not pumping up either. Mayday. Thoughts?
Yeah, lucky I didn't just puncture out in the middle of nowhere on my way to work or something one day. I don't know. Oh well.
I guess we'll be using my tube now. Thanks for watching.
We're back up and running after that. Got no tubes with me now. You could say I'm running tubeless. Or tubeless. So, on our way back towards Narrawaka then Hamilton, so might go to the bike shop, see if we can get a tube, just to sort of cover our bases in case that happens again. Right, 200k's, we have started. Actually feeling a little bit tired just because of the duration. Sort of think 200k's, like 200 watts, is not going to be anything too crazy, but it does add up. So anyway, I've enjoyed my last easy moments, or enjoying them for the next 10-20k, and then whew, just going to start hurting. Alright, we've left Lucas, been to the bike shop, got a new tube, so come up for at least one puncher now. Done 207.5k's, about 6.5 hours deep. Feeling alright, but yeah, that load's actually definitely added up on me a bit more than maybe I thought it would. So anyway, let's keep going and I'll update you in a little bit once it starts to get a bit harder. It's the velodrome we use when the budget gets cut. Alrighty then, we got out of town, heading towards Martingi now. Yeah, I'm a smart guy, I've had a brainwave. Big brain thinking, obviously if I'm in a tailwind, the time I'm going to have to ride at a certain power output, which is done by distance, is going to be less. So if I go faster, it's going to have to ride for that power for less time. So I'm in a bit of a headwind at the moment, which is fine, because it's sort of at the easier end of things. But yeah, just contemplating how many laps I need to do, or little bits I need to do in the headwind, I can get the tailwind at the right time when it gets really hard. But I also don't want to go too far in the headwind, end up failing too early in the tailwind, and still be a mile from home. So yeah, decisions to make.
Just to smash them down, turn my headphones up real loud. I think I need them now, 'cause you start to nose it. If you stay, I wouldn't even wait all night.
So one little science update before it gets too hard to talk. You can basically put exercise intensity into 4 separate domains really. So the first we call moderate intensity domain. Why you don't call it low, I don't know. I guess low could be classed as nothing. Then you have heavy, severe and extreme. So in that moderate intensity domain, where I am right now, well below that first sort of lactate threshold or aerobic threshold, if you look at say the VO2, so the oxygen you're using, it'll be at a pretty stable level. And the heavy domain, it'll rise and then it'll plateau and it'll stabilize and stay stable. Once you get into the severe domain, that's where you're going above that sort of threshold everyone talks about, FTP, critical power, whatever, it'll just keep rising. So the amount of oxygen you're using will rise until VO2 max and then you fatigue. And then the extreme domain, pretty much the same physiological response, except you're going to fatigue before you reach VO2 max. I think you're 30 seconds all out or something. Now most of this ride is in the moderate intensity domain. We will be reaching into the heavy domain. Probably won't get into the severe domain, I don't think. It's going to actually cause me to fatigue because you don't really fatigue in those domains. the lower ones. Partially it's glycogen depletion, but it's not quite as simple as you might think. It's not just you ran out of energy, it's the main muscle fibers you're using or used to using, they'll run out. You'll start recruiting other ones which are less well trained, and then those thresholds will shift down a little bit, so essentially you're above threshold sooner, so you fatigue at a lower power output. Now it's actually the high intensity work, or your high intensity work capacity that fatigues more than those thresholds, but they do go down. So in that moderate intensity domain, a lot of type 1 activations, so slow twitch muscle fibers, pretty fatigue resistant, but they will fatigue. Then you're going to go into that heavy intensity domain, a little bit more type 2 activation, so more of the fast twitch fibers starting to be activated there, just because the forces are higher. And those type 1 fibers, by the time I get there in this ramp test, are going to be starting to fatigue a bit more, so you're going to be relying even more on those type 2 fibers. Type 2 fibers are much less fatigue resistant than type 1, so they'll fatigue even faster, and the intensity is still going up, so you're activating even more type 2 fibers, and you can see why this is a bit of a exponentially downhill and getting exponentially harder sort of effort. Anyway, so that's a little bit of a deeper dive into why this gets quite so hard compared to just riding it sort of these intensities under fresh conditions. Okay, halfway through the 240 watt stage, 240 kilometer stage, feeling alright. Like this is probably the first stage where I've sort of wanted to ride easier than I am. The rest of the time I've been kind of itching it, going a bit harder, just been having to pull myself back, and now I'm at that stage where I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit uncomfortable. I wouldn't mind riding a bit easier than this. So I think just over 250k, be my last pit stop for a bit of food and water, then let's see how long we last. We'll be into the final bit of it. Might get dark by the time I finish if I'm really strong, but let's wait and see. Through the 260 watt stage. It's going to be a pretty anticlimactic finish, I reckon. I'm just going to get to a point like it's not going to be some crazy high power number or anything. It's just going to be like, oh, there you go, I just couldn't hold it anymore. For the moment, feeling alright, still getting along fine. I feel like I've got 300 in the legs. That was a bit of a target of mine, and then we'll wait till we get there before we start thinking too much further ahead than that.
See what you're fighting for, bloodlust and a holy war. Listen up, hear the patriots shout. Times are changing. In the end, the choice was clear. Take a shot in the face of fear. Fist up in the firing line. Times are changing.
I've been riding for over 9 hours, about to tick over into the 300k, 300 watt stage. It's definitely adding up now. I think I'll get through the 300 watt stage much further, I'm not sure, we'll wait and see. But it's getting quite dark and a bit cold. Might put some warm gear back on. It's been a long day. Alright, you can probably hardly see me because it's pitch black, but I've finished. I got to 341 Ks, 340 watt stage, and then yeah, just holding that was too much. So pretty happy with that. It was 10 hours, 12 minutes is where I got to, so yeah, could have probably gone a little bit further or longer. Just have picked like a flatter route for that first 200k, but it was like a much more enjoyable, scenic, few hills and stuff route, so it was nice to do that with Lucas, and then sort of some flatter roads after that. Can't say I could have done too much more to be better other than just pick a warmer day with more daylight, to be honest. So nah, good ride and go home, have some dinner. Still ride tomorrow, but a little bit easier. Alright, and if you hopefully enjoyed that, or just enjoyed watching me suffer, or just want to just give some kudos for watching me suffer, please like and subscribe, it helps a lot. Catch you later.